Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to update our team as of the start of February of 2025 for the 2025 SuperCoach NRL season. So I guess we have draft team, not draft, I'm thinking about different SuperCoach stuff there, but trial teams is what I was trying to say. List coming out tomorrow. So I thought it might be a good opportunity just to quickly jump on and update where, I guess, based on current rumours and stories, where the team's at. And then obviously it'll probably change week on week going forward from here. So just to give you a bit of an update on the team and I guess my changing thoughts throughout this process. So I've sort of started here at the bottom. I'm going to work my way up. I wanted to hide some of those players there, but I'll add the centre wings in now. I've already done it. But the first big change is at the back. So I've still got Tommy Trbojevic, still got Iongi. I think, the value there is probably too good to pass up. But I have pivoted from Scotty Drinkwater to Kalen Ponga. And it's mostly off the back of, if you go to his season stats, the upcoming opponents, you see over the last 2 years, he has turned up every time he has played the Tigers, the Dolphins, and the Titans. And you can see that's a couple of different places. Optus Stadium's obviously a bit of a different one. Obviously playing at home against the Tigers for those two is nice. And also the Titans. So I guess the one sort of argument against is that he's mostly done this at home until those games are away. But, probably looking at that draw, you would imagine there are three teams that are going to sort of struggle to make the 8. I'm not saying that they won't, but I guess, if you think it through a bit, they're probably a bit lower down a lot of people's lists. And I guess, to go a bit more specific, the Tigers, obviously, a bit of turnover there, the likes of Luai coming in. So their attack will take a little bit of time to get going. The Dolphins with the new coach, obviously Christian Wolf is a Wayne Bennett disciple. I think he's been the assistant coach there. He's done good things with Tonga. So not saying he's a bad coach, but I mean, there is that transitionary period. And then the Titans, sounds like they're going to experiment with Brimson and Campbell in the halves. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm excited for it, but again, it might take a bit of a while for that combo to gel. So based on that, pretty keen for Ponga. So I've got him in. I think he's only about 20k more than Scott Drinkwater too. So when you factor that in, he does represent really great value. The centre wing hasn't changed too much. Kiraz Garrick still in. I think I had McLean on the bench originally. Purdue and Toya as those cheapies. But I have had to cut corners to get a bit of money elsewhere. And so at the moment I've gone with Munro and Jack Bird. Obviously Jack Bird could end up in the second row if he does get that starting position at lock for the Tigers. But at the moment, at that price point, and that's about all the money I had left, I think I've got $2 extra grand in the bank. He was the obvious choice if he gets that position. Munro, with the news that Campbell Graham's back out, it could see Tass move into the centres, which sort of, potentially gives him that free run at the left wing outside of the likes of Latrell, Cody Walker, Jack Whiten, and it's looking like Josh Schuster as well. So pretty attacking left edge. You imagine a lot of ball there. If he's on that left edge, a lot of tries coming his way. If it does prove to be Tass or maybe a Fletcher Myers now, with the news that Campbell's out, Tass could play right centre and Munro might be on the right wing. Basically, whoever's on that left wing come round 1 is starting in my team. Into the halves, I don't think there's any real change here. I, maybe I had Nico Hines in the last version, um, but I think Sandon Smith's always been in there. If he gets a start at the Cowboys, Tom Duffy will be in this position here. Um, and then Sandon Smith will play as one of my hookers. But Cleary's locked in, Metcalf's locked in, and Burton is locked in. Although if I need a little bit more cash, um, I wouldn't be upset with having KO Weeks as my 5'8", given that it's essentially like having a fourth fullback in the team. Um, so, that would be a potential play. But if I can keep Burton, I will. And another sort of favourable run, the Dragons without Benny Hunt, might be a bit directionless to start. The Titans we talked about just before, and that's at Belmore as well, so the Dogs will be up for that one. And then the Eels, again, another team with a new coach, and especially with Rozzy, there's a bit of an overhaul, so it'll be interesting to see how quickly they can gel. Although he doesn't have a good history against the Eels, which is a little concerning, but I'll back him in. So probably the big changes in the forwards. So I'll scroll up. Starting with the hookers, I've sort of kept the double cheapies. I do like the value that's in that position. Better talk that it might not be Moser, it might actually be Corey Pakes that starts. If it is Corey Pakes, and I guess, we said if Tom Duffy starts, I'm definitely playing Sandon Smith at hooker. But it's probably a case of if it's Corey Pakes, I'll probably go Mamazelis over. I do like Moser as a player from what I've seen. I think he's got a bit more attacking upside. Not to say Mamazelis doesn't, not to say Pakes doesn't. Probably just haven't seen enough of it to back it in. So that's why Moses on the bench sort of over Mamazelis at the moment is purely based on he's not got the job security at the moment. And yeah, so it all depends on the little team list as to how that shakes out. But probably will be going the double cheap hooker. And then I guess, based on looking at some other people's teams and some other articles and the like, I have sort of gone with the security of Connor Watson. So with Brandon Smith out injured, Sandon Smith playing in the halves, there is a lot of chat. He's a pretty strong candidate for an 80-minute role at hooker, which would be epic. So I can have him in my second row, which is nice. I can take advantage of these cheap hookers that probably have better job security over some of my cheap second rowers, if I'm being honest. So I wanted to get Connor Watson in. That's why I've taken a bit of a haircut at centre wing. You got to get it from somewhere. So Connor Watson is in. Fini Fuiaki, again, we're just hoping he gets that starting edge spot. It all depends what the new coach wants to do with Tom Gilbert. Plath at 13 was pretty good last year. Gilbert is probably a bit of a miss to fix it. I could see a world where they play Tom Gilbert in the front row and Fini Fuiaki on the edge, which would obviously be great for all of their SuperCoach prospects getting those starting spots. Nafahu White, again, we're hoping gets a good role. I could see him as a starting front rower at the Roosters, given I think they'll want to keep Lenu as that impact player off the bench. So White alongside Lindsay Collins to start with, probably Radley at 13. And then in an ideal world, Wong would get that other edge spot, although you'd imagine that Butcher would probably be the front runner for that. Nicholson, if he can sort of get the edge spot there at the Raiders at the price, I think with the budget, I've only got 2.6k. I need 2.8 to flip him up to Kobe Hetherington, who's another one around that price range. So I guess I am sort of sweating on that. And Schuster, as I said, seems to be the front runner for that left second row spot, which is it's a pretty nice edge to be on for SuperCoach purposes. So up front, I probably have acquiesced a bit with obviously Barnett. I've been a big rap on it and want to keep him in my team as much as I can. Obviously, the price tag is a bit exorbitant, but I think he is going to fill the Tohu Harris role, but playing 80 minutes as a front rower. But I have gone with Terrell May, so I was pretty keen on anti-potting Terrell May. Not to say that he's a bad pick. I just, I don't know how much value is in that price. A lot of people saying, he has shown that he can play 80 minutes and the offloads and all that, but I guess at the same time he hasn't sort of shown that consistency. And whether that's because Robbo was chopping and changing, or whether it's just he can do it, but only when he needs to, sort of thing. And the Tigers do have some middle forwards like Bolle, Twal that can play decent minutes as well. So it's just more the unknown. With Tino, he's a bit cheaper, and he is coming off an injury. Probably hasn't interrupted preseason, but we know once he winds up what we're getting out of him. So that's sort of my thought there. It may still happen, but at the moment, like I said, I've sort of folded the peer pressure a bit and brought May in. A little bit disappointed in myself, but these things happen. And I mean, if I need to make, again, some cash, like I need to upgrade Nicholson and Wong, for example, that sort of thing. It could be that May does become Tino. Corey Horsburgh on the bench again, if he gets a good role there at the Raiders with his fit-looking physique. And Tom Amone, I just like it at that price a bit more than Royce Hunt. He's probably put in a bigger shift in the Super League than Hunt has over here, so I'm predicting a slightly bigger tank. And particularly the Bulldogs do need that bigger presence in the middle. So I'm thinking Amone is slightly better value at this stage. So I've done that somewhat out of order, but that's perfectly fine. That's the updated team. I guess I should just quickly plug the leagues. So we've still got a few spots in our third SuperCoach Nuff League. League code there on the screen, but I will also put the link in the chat. Obviously, the overall is open to everyone. You can already see 41 teams, so that should be a pretty good one to follow along. And I haven't checked the drafts recently, but there is one spot left in the pre-draft league. So, sorry, the redraft league. I meant to say I was reading pre-draft there. So this is just the one and done season league. So that one's got one spot. The Dynasty League, so the Keeper League, is full. If you're absolutely desperate to join, let me know. We might be able to stretch it out to 10. But it does already work out quite nicely with the timing and that sort of thing. And for those that are in the Dynasty League, I have proposed a change to the draft time. So you can see like the activity there. That's obviously a reply to my comment. I'll have a look at that off camera. But you probably can't see that behind my big head in the corner. But in the top right corner, if you go into the draft league, you'll see activity with a notification. Just my initial message asking your thoughts, and as I said, there's at least one reply there. But as I said, I'll put all the links for the currently open leagues in the description below this video. Obviously, if you've got any other comments, questions, thoughts, they go below the description in the comments section. You can give us a like if you enjoy the NRL SuperCoach content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.